Koulourakia is actually a recipe that it's a traditional recipe from back home, from my background. It is a Greek traditional cookie recipe that is actually, we make it during holidays. And I'm so happy I get to share with everyone. When I was a little girl, around 5, 6 years old, I used to sit side by side by my grandmother and my mom, and I used to bake with them. And I remember rolling out that dough and mending it together and making different shapes. And I'm so excited to share this. So let's begin. Let's make our Koulourakia. Okay, everyone. So we hope everyone has their ingredients out and ready. We're going to start with the liquid ingredients, the orange and the butter, our eggs. So for this recipe, we're going to start off with beating our 4 eggs together. So if everyone can have their 4 eggs ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cracking our eggs into the bowl. Because we're going to be whisking the eggs and the sugar together. So on our recipe, we need 1.5 cups sugar. So let's get our measuring cups out. I've got my measuring spoons here, and I have 1 cup, 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup, and 1/3 cup. So today we're going to be using the 1 cup measuring. So I've got my sugar ready. Let's pour our sugar inside the eggs. You can mix it all together until you can't see those crystal sugars anymore. Mixing, mixing, mixing all around. Mixing, mixing all the ingredients all together. So after we finish mixing the sugar and the eggs, we need to add the butter. So we have our butter. So we need to measure 1.5 cups butter. So we've got our cup, or you can even melt the butter so it makes it easier. You can melt it as well just to get it. I usually try to take the butter out of the fridge like maybe a couple of hours before I bake the recipe, so it could be soft. The butter needs to be really soft. If you have a mixer, you can also mix it with a mixer, electric mixer, or you can just use a hand mixer. It's going to get mixed eventually all in. Mix the butter and sugar and eggs together. It's time to add our orange. So we need 1/2 cup of orange juice. So I have 2 oranges here, but I think if I squeeze 1 orange, it should be 1/2 cup. Just getting my squeezer. I have to squeeze with my. I have a hand squeezer, so I'm squeezing it into the bowl. I think if you have one big orange, it's enough for half a cup. I'm gonna try measuring right now. So one orange should be about half a cup. So then we mix our orange and our butter after we put half a cup of orange juice. Add our vanilla extract. For that we need, let me just check my recipe again. For vanilla extract, we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I've got my little spoon here, teaspoon. So we pour in 1, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We also get, from the orange that we used, we get our grinder out, and we use this, we're going to be using the zest of the orange as well. So we're going to be grinding our orange. And we need 1 whole orange with zest. And you can pour it into the liquid ingredients. And when you're finished grinding, so that means that 1 orange does not go to waste. And then we mix. And our next step would be our flour. That will be actually our last step that we're going to add into our mix, would be our flour. So I have a separate bowl, and I'm going to be adding the flour. So 4 cups of flour with baking powder. Four cups of flour, and we just keep some flour at the side because we might need extra if needed. It depends on how we when we blend it all together. So I'm going to pour the liquid ingredients into the flour and mix it all in. And I'm going to add some baking powder, mixing it all together. And we have to make the dough not too crumbly, not too sticky, just enough so we can roll it into a cookie. But once we net our dough together, we have to let it sit for about 15 minutes, everyone. We're rolling our... So if you can see, I've got a big, this is how it's supposed to look. So when you're rolling out the dough, it's not too sticky, it's just enough to make it into a cookie. And we can use different shapes and sizes. We can actually roll it into a braided cookie. We can roll into a circle cookie, a square cookie, or you can use cookie cutters to roll your dough. But we're going to have to let our dough sit for about 15-20 minutes. Make sure at this time, this is when we put our oven on to preheat. So we preheat our oven, everyone, to 360, 350. It all depends on your oven. It's 350, 360. Mine's an older oven, so I put mine up to 360, but 350 is good as well. 350 degrees. We preheat our oven now. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed making Koulourakia, and now we're gonna just sit for 15 minutes. We can enjoy singing songs, and we'll be back to bake our cookies. Thank you.
Joy, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I've made some cookie recipes somewhat successfully.
Yes.
Does the cookie dough have to rest just on the counter or in the fridge?
Just inside the bowl.
Just
Not
in
in
the
the fridge,
bowl?
just on the counter. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just checking. I have one cookie dough recipe that I have to chill it in the fridge for that.
Some recipes are like that, but this recipe is no. You just leave it at the side of your counter to sit for, it's usually a half an hour, but even 20 minutes works. I've done it before for 20 minutes, yes.
Thank you.
You can also cover it with a towel or Parmesan paper, just so it can be covered, and then just let it sit for 20 minutes. Yes, you're welcome. Any more questions, anyone? Priscilla, do you have any questions?
Hi, Joy. I just had one question. I just wanted to confirm the measurement of the sugar. The sugar is 1.5 cup or 1 cup?
1.5 cup. I just make it a little bit sweeter. Sorry, it is 1 cup, but you can put, I usually put 1.5 cups, but you can also put 1 cup. Yes. Actually, okay. The recipe says 1 cup. I'm just used to 1.5 because I make it so many times, but I did put in the recipe 1 cup. Yes.
And the flour is 4 cups, did you say, or 7.5?
7.5 cups would be if you're doubling the dose. Okay. You can do 7.5 cups, or you can also do just 4 cups. It depends on 4.5 how much the dough takes.
Okay.
It's a little bit difficult with this recipe, right? Because it's like it has to become, it just blends together. So that's why I said that make sure you have some extra flour, just in case you have to add into the recipe.
Yeah. So I'll just put it down 4.5 cups. Yeah.
4.5 cups or 7.5 cups. Yeah. You want to make a lot of cookies.
And how many do these usually become? I mean, how many?
Well, if I make a big batch, it comes out to about 60 cookies. If I make the small batch, about maybe 30, 35 cookies, because it depends on how you shape them. Because with this, I'll be shaping them into a braid. I roll them out and I make like a braid, and then I put them, they get really, it's a bigger type of cookie, but you can also get cookie cutters and cut them into the cookie cutter. And you can make smaller cookies.
Okay.
Which will make
Are these crispy or are they soft or are they just crumbly? What are they when you once they're done?
Soft and crumbly. It has a really nice taste. And with the orange, yes. And it's really great for children. I used to make it for my kids growing up. Like they'd always have it. And my mom too, their grandmother would always, and she still makes them.
Wow, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just curious, how much does your kitchen smell like orange right now?
It smells wonderful. My whole, and you can even add more orange if you'd like. You can even put one. It all depends on your flavor and your taste. That's why I said 1 sugar is less sugar. You can add some little bit more, or you could just keep it to 1. You can add a little bit, instead of half an orange juice cup of the orange, you can put. So our dough is ready now to make our cookies. So what we do is we take and make them into little balls. We separate the whole dough and we make little balls. We can count 1, 2, 3, and we roll them into little balls. 4. So then when you roll it, to make the cookie, it rolls out to this. And as if you could see, and then you would place it on your pan and make it into a braided shape. braid, braid, and this is how it would turn out. Braided cookie. Just the shape of a braid. And then you get all your cookies ready, and then you put it in the oven to bake. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes. It's a really tasty cookie, and I hope you enjoy baking it, everyone. And please send me pictures to share your experience. Thank you so much.